G'day, this is Captainoob and this is the Scar Project. This weapon mod aims to improve upon Shiny Haxorus's Scar H by adding more attachment options and also changing up the sounds a little bit with firing and reloading. So this mod is getting up there in age and it's time for a good old redux, so I guess this one can be classed as like an unofficial redux there, which is pretty cool. So I actually looked at this weapon all the way back when I first got my PC, and I will go ahead and chuck on the powerful receiver. It was around Christmas of 2016, I think it was, maybe a little bit later, but yeah, that's when I first got this thing. It's actually one of the first weapons we looked at. And as for the barrel, we've got nothing to change here just yet, although there are plans to extend this little barrel out here. So yeah, it'll look more like the Battlefield 4 variant, which is a huge plus. Moving on to the stocks, you've got a whole different range of stocks you can choose from here. Right now I've just got the assault stocks. You can have an assassination stock, which comes with a bipod and a funky looking stock there. You can have a combat sniper one, which comes with the bipod attached to it, and a marksman stock, which is a little bit more for aiming, but you don't have the bipod with it. Now ideally I'd like to go for an assault stock with a couple of straps on it, which you can get with the obviously with getting the stocks on, but unfortunately there is no assault stock with a strap and also a foregrip, because when I actually use this weapon in first person, as you can tell if I pull it out, we're holding the weapon like there's a foregrip there, but really, as you can tell, there's really no foregrip there, so that's kind of a shame. So I'd like to have a foregrip on our stock, on our assault stock here, as well as a strap, but that's the closest we're going to get to having this thing immersive. I don't like hover handing the weapons, and yeah, that definitely looks a little bit better. We are missing out on the strap though, which is unfortunate. Moving over to the magazines, you can have a few elemental changing ones with high explosive, you can have incendiaries, and a whole bunch of extended magazines too. I think some of these assets are from Black Ops, so they work kind of well, if not jarring, to see a futuristic looking thing on a fairly modern looking weapon, but I suppose it works if you suspend your disbelief a little bit. So you can have a double quick standard eject mag there. Let's chuck on that one. That looks kind of cool. There's no tape holding them together though. Maybe they're glued in. Anyways, some new sights include, I think, this basket reflex and this ear attack. I remember that being on there, but the PKAS, that's obviously a Russian sight. There's no Cobra Russian sights, which kind of sucks, but what I want to do is probably chuck on the basket reflex. I kind of like that on my Vector, and I think it might look alright on a Scar H2. You can chuck a suppressor on this thing if you feel like it, which we're going to do. Gets us 256 damage, although there's some compensators and flash hiders too. The flash hider looks kind of good there. I'm kind of sad that maybe we'll get a non-silence one, so we can see that muzzle hider or that flash hider in action there. There's two different types of suppressors. This one looks like it's from Black Ops 3. We'll go for that one instead. I kind of like the look of that one better. You can change the caliber of this, and unfortunately it doesn't change it from Scar H to Scar L. That always stays as Scar, so that's something you could decide to go ahead and add in. We'll go ahead and chuck in the armor perforating ones for better performance against heavily armored targets, which we'll need. There's some increasing damaging things, which probably won't need. And of course, I talked about this before, we'll leave this as automatic, and you can have a tactical flashlight, either functional or non-functional, which is nice, and you can have it on whichever rail you feel like, although the aesthetic one is only on the bottom, which kind of sucks. We're going to chuck that on because lights usually break a little bit with when you get into the weapon and put it away. When you turn on the light, it sort of shines off in a direction which is not needed, so it's sometimes more convenient to have it as a aesthetic thing. Anyways, we'll go ahead and chuck on some tan colors on this scar because that's obviously the best way to run it. That's the perfect colors. I love my scars looking like that. Legendary effect if you need it. We won't. Let's get into shooting people. We'll definitely create a semi-auto one and see how this all works. Righto, so here we are outside of Quincy, ready to shoot up every single gunner in sight. I think we've turned off more scripted spawns, so we should be through it a little bit quicker today. And yeah, this is what our Scar looks like, our basic Scar with the automatic on it. Also, this suppressor, you probably can't see it now, but when I was taking the thumbnail of this video, I've actually read that this thing's like a 5.56 suppressor, so I don't actually think it's properly rated for the 308 rounds it's going to be firing, but that shouldn't matter too much. Here is our assassination variant with its stock there, that funky stock, and a bipod there. I put the compensator on this one because it makes the barrel a little bit longer. Also, I wanted to hear this thing unsuppressed, so hopefully this all works out with the sniper perk. We shall see. I'm sure he'll come back soon. This one, we've just got the basic extended mag on it, nothing too crazy with the legendary effects or elemental incendiary explosive. We're just going to go for some long range gunning here. So far so good, haven't been detected yet, and the thing sounds a lot better right off the bat than I remember the Scar H of the shiny Haxorus's original sounding, which was good. I think the sounds for the automatic suppressed variant of this weapon were actually from the pipe rifle itself, which is kind of interesting. Also, the reload animations, reload sounds, sorry, failed to play there. There they are. That was just Fallout 4 being Fallout 4, to be honest, so nothing to worry about there. Haven't seen a knockdown on this thing yet, so I'm gonna bet that this thing isn't actually compatible with the sniper perk, even though it is a scope. Probably just a keyword not added into the attachment thing properly. You gotta add those attachment keywords into the O mods, and then that'll help it work out. It's not whether the thing actually fades into the scope vision when you aim down the sights, it's whether you've got that special keyword. And how I know this is because, obviously, in the creation could have had experience with it, but with the assault rifle standard iron sights, you could actually make use out of the sniper perk, despite it not being a scope, which is a little bit of a goof on Bethesda's side, but we'll let that one slide. So despite using a loud and proud Scar, we're not being detected all that much. We might get detected in a second here. No, we aren't. We're just like a ninja of the night here with a super loud rifle at our side. It's not really making a lot of sense to me, but I'll accept that. Also, I think we got a whole lot of damage on that person due to Mr. Sandman. Not only can you do that kill takedown on them to get that massive amount of damage to instantly kill. Boy, don't go in there. Well, we can at least stagger. Yeah, you can actually shoot sleeping targets and you'll get a huge damage bonus on them, which is pretty neat. Now, I'm pretty sure I've heard these sounds before. I'm thinking it was off an AK weapon. Is it the AK-70... What? No, AK-74 I think it was. Something like that. But yeah, these sounds sort of do work for the Scar H. We'll get some cheeky sneak attack criticals from all the way over there. Basically, the only reason I can hit them is because I can see the health bars there. Also, that one's got a AA-12. That's the AA-12's revenge on me for not using it yesterday when I did that video going through that dungeon mod. After recording that, I figured out that I didn't actually use the AA-12 at all, but I didn't need it. We're facing softshell Mirelurk, so hopefully with an update to that mod, we can actually see some good level scaling. Ah, it's the Assaultron Dominator. I'm not even going to give you the satisfaction of being killed, like, properly today. I'm just going to self-destruct you.
Threat redetected. Engaging. Engaging hostile.
Righto, let's finish off a lot of these guys. The scopes are a little bit too close for this, so we'll go ahead and just shoot them like that. Getting plenty of damage out of this, nothing to complain about there. And the recoil on this thing is a little bit on the non-existent side, but makes it super easy just to pop headshots whenever we feel like it, despite them dancing around whilst being staggered. I think we're about done here, so we probably could have gotten away with getting up more scripted spawns here, but that would have just prolonged the fight. Maybe it's not too important or, you know, too interesting to watch when I'm just tanking it out against like 50 people who are shooting me at once, because you'll never be in that situation in Fallout 4 vanilla anyway. So yeah, it's a little bit exaggerated and not really that realistic, so you can't really draw any conclusions about the performance of the weapon other than it's like super good in crowd control situations. Okay, let's move on to some monsters, maybe another cell. Righto, I think we've got the power to take on some tanky super mutants with our Scar these days, so let's go ahead and clear out this particular cell. I'm going to start off with the loud and proud one just to see how well we can go. And if we don't get any sniper procking on these guys, then I'm pretty sure it's a good idea that this thing actually doesn't have the sniper perk set up on this particular scope.
What's that?
Although this thing could be still marked as automatic, as seen by the naming convention goof at the start of the video there. So maybe that's why. Also, we are going too well for a loud and proud weapon. Are you sure this thing's actually marked as loud? Surely the compensator. There we go. Finally in danger. That's the stuff. Let's get into some actual open combat here, shall we? Just gotta clear out these doggoos. Get out of here. Wow, these doggoos want no part of this. That'll leave a mark. Or maybe you could call it a scar. They really don't want these scar tissues to be happening here, do they? Doesn't look very good on a super mutant. It clashes with their green color. Also, you get a spectacular death there. Hope they got a stunt double for you because that looked like it hurt. Okay, let's move on to our suppressed automatic one here. Fires laser beams. There's no recoil to it, which, sure, that's fine, but sometimes you like a little feedback in your weapon to help keep it a little bit more interesting when you're firing at people, because sometimes having to fight your weapon to stay on the enemy, stay on target it's just a nice touch. I kind of like how they did recoil in Battlefield 4. Anyways, that's a balancing thing, so I don't really see any reason not to have the recoil as it is now, but just to add a little bit of personality to the weapon, it would be nice. Although recoil is kind of hard to tune in Fallout 4 because it doesn't really, it just gives you how much angle the muzzle climbs or deviates per shot, which is, you're a legendary Rad Roach, you had a bloody lead pipe. Not sure how you fit that on you, but yeah, not going to pick that up. I'm just going to leave that where I found it. So yeah, we're definitely packing the power when it comes into the Scar H. I'm pretty sure this is way outperforming the original shiny Scar, which is pretty good. I'm happy with this weapon's performance now. It's probably good enough to leave it in a place where it is. If not, you can probably nerf that a little and I won't have any complaints about that. I'll move on to some scary monsters now. And by the scary monsters, what I really mean is this Roachzilla over here. Don't let his size fool you. He's actually one of the more terrifying monsters from this mod. And that is because he attacks relentlessly. It's actually terrifying. He chases you down at a super fast speed. Fortunately, he's a little bit susceptible to sneak attack criticals, but he runs up to you and soon he will have me detected, which means I have to make like a stereotypical Western woman and jump up because there's vermin around, and that's definitely not a sexist stereotype at all, is it? Okay, let's get some criticals in here. There we go. He's mutated at this point, getting some pretty good damage with our criticals there. In terms of DPS, I think this is probably the best one way to go, but you can still do a pretty good job with the assassination stock there. Also, the strap on the side, there it is. It has no function other than it increases your carry capacity. Also, you have picked the worst place to sit there. He actually moved. This is some of the more smarter. Hey, there's Winter over there. Wonder how she's doing. Should I pick her up? I don't think I can pick her up with one key. She's just gonna sit there. She doesn't help out. She's a little bit of a she's like that. She just doesn't want to help out. Maybe I should have tuned her AI to make sure she helped her allies, because that's totally a thing you can do. I don't think she helps anybody. When her life is in danger, that's when she'll step up and start shooting things. Let's just leave her in there. That's not the real Winter anyway now, is it? Okay, he's coming in for the charge. Now we might as well get some use out of our bat's protection. Once we get a stagger on him from shooting him, that's when we'll make our break. Hopefully we'll have enough AP to quickly sprint. And come on, get a critical now. This thing is actually super efficient with its VATS AP usage, which is nice. Also, we just knackered half of our health from taking one bite. See, this guy's even stronger than Swan. It's kind of strange how they put him right in front of the Vault 111 thing rather than Swan outside there, because I feel like Swan would be an easier thing to kill at level 1 with, I don't know, maybe a dozen or so 10mm bullets. Okay, I wanted to jump on that fence, but I didn't quite make it. That's alright. We can jump up here again. Okay, Roachzilla has decided to chill over there for a bit. We'll get some easy headshots on him and make sure we get those hits just with criticals. Are they going to be quick criticals, are they? Not quite. Wow, he is really booking it out of there. At this rate, he'll probably slip into caution for a second. Although, oh yep, we are. Could probably finish this off with a couple of cheeky sneak attack criticals. No, we can't. He's actually going to catch on to us. How is a rad roach the toughest, most scariest creature in all of this? Although he doesn't one-shot you like the Deathclaw down at the Glowing Sea does, so yeah, maybe he's like the second most powerful monster from this mod. Tell you what though, he's giving the Scar a run for its money, that's for sure. Why couldn't we get staggers like that in VATS before? That's exactly what I would have needed. Righto, time to go all out on VATS. We should be able to get in with this VATS run here. There we go. And with that fight finish, I think that is about time to call it for the Scar H project there. It's been a pretty good weapon to use, and I'm looking forward to seeing further updates on this. So yeah, just keep in mind some of the criticisms here and use them if you feel like it. Some of the things blatantly have to be changed, like a couple of bugs here and there. But all in all, it's a nice project there, and I'm sure all of the people are really happy that you're using their assets without asking. Just kidding. Okay, that's enough from me. Thank you for watching, guys.